So Patrick Rothfuss has updated us on the charity chapter situation. For those of you who do not know, a year and a half ago, I believe in some change, in exchange for backing a World Builders charity project, Patrick Rothfuss promised the release of the first chapter of the third book in the King Killer Chronicles. That has not been released up until now, and we haven't really even had an official statement from Rothfuss explaining the situation until his recent stream on Twitch. And it does confirm, I would say, the least bad of the causes for this delay, assuming everything we're being told is truthful in terms of why we haven't received it. And it's due largely to mental health concerns and Rothfuss wanting to do something truly awesome for his fans. None of which I don't think any reasonable person can blame him for. I think the execution we can, but I think in his heart, he had the right mindset going into this. I'll let him speak for himself in this moment, though.
I feel really bad about the chapter. I feel bad about it. It's what I do. I'm like, oh, let's do a thing. I'll do this. Cool. But if I'm going to do it, why don't I do this? And why don't I have a bunch of people and they can record themselves reading it? And it's like, well, I should brush up the text. I should do art. I should get a video editor. Suddenly it's a huge thing. And then I either keep doing that or I've wasted all the time and asked favors, and it would have been so easy a month after to just do it. I remember saying, like, well, I don't just want to throw a wad of text onto my blog. That's boring. Let's do something fun. And so I tried to do something fun, and instead it turned into a big thing, and it got complicated, and it got hard, and then various fires in my life, which meant I couldn't keep it going. I couldn't put a bow on it. Yeah, and I feel bad about it. But yeah, I do want to do it, and I'd like to do it sooner rather than later. But now, after waiting all this time, and I've half re-edited that chapter, so do I stop re-editing it? Or do I push through on the editing, which turned out to be harder than I thought? Or do I just go back to the old version, I barf it onto the blog? I could have done that a year and a half ago, and everybody would have been happy. So instead, I've made everybody miserable, and then I'm giving them the lame version. So here, y'all in the chat, I know, like, you guys are gracious and understanding. I appreciate you. Mostly because the people who are dicks come in here and they get banned pretty quick, so I don't have to deal with it actively here all the time. But, like, for a while, everybody was upset. And, if I accidentally Google my name, it's all like, Pat Rothfuss defrauds fans or whatever. It's not a lot of fun to be online anymore.
And this is going to be maybe a really strange way to cover this news, but I want to angle the rest of this video as if I'm speaking to Patrick Rothfuss. I don't think I have the right to demand he watch or listen to anything I say, but as someone who has had severe mental health struggles myself recently, I had to step away to the channel. I want to say I don't understand at all what's going on in Rothfuss's head, because every single person who struggles with depression and anxiety has it manifest in unique ways. And I think anyone who gets on Rothfuss for not releasing book 3 by now doesn't understand how big of a hurdle mental health struggles can be. That being said, I think it's completely fair to criticize him for not putting out the charity project which money was exchanged for. That's the difference. I think it's totally fine for an author to say, I need a decade or more break for my mental health. Sorry, just be patient. That is fine by my book. It's the exchange of money that's the problem. And we hear from Rothfuss here that he just wanted to do something big and extra, and after a decade plus of keeping his fans waiting, I think it's understandable for him to want to do something a bit more, a bit bigger, a bit extra. And I still think he could do that. But as of right now, the money has been exchanged, people have been made to wait. Take the unrevised version of the chapter and don't barf it, put it on your blog. There is nothing wrong with that at all. No one is above just posting something on their blog for their fans to enjoy. And I think it would be nice to, at the beginning or end of that, note, hey, due to the wait and largely causing the wait, I am going to be also releasing down the road a revised version of this chapter, and maybe with the narration pulled off and all of that too. We can still have the best of both worlds. And in the grand scheme of thing, a year and a half wait can just be looked at as a severe bump that in the end of the day was made up for. Fans are excited for a narration from people you choose and favors you've called in. That would still be dope and be something awesome to stream stream on your Twitch channel or put on a YouTube channel you have, whatever your biggest platform is, and would make up in many ways for the people who rightfully feel annoyed. I understand you also get harassed by this far more than you should be. I have certainly called you out in my own videos, and in some ways I've regret it, because I don't think I was wrong to do so, but I've seen people springboard off that to go far further over the top, accusing Patrick Rothfuss of just like deliberately stealing money from charity, which I don't believe there's evidence for that. That is just speculation, wild, and I don't back that up at all. For anyone wondering why I seem so invested in this, one, it's my job to cover the news, and this is one of the big news stories that people talk about in this community a lot, but also I sent people to back this project, and they did off my recommendation that this seemed like a really cool next step for the King Killer franchise, and so I really want to see those members of my audience get that. And on a totally different side note, Rothfuss, if it's you not polished, even as someone who's not necessarily the biggest fans of your work, you're probably still head and shoulders above a lot of other people unpolished, and new content for the King Killer franchise will probably just be good for the franchise. Final cell phone insert, I promise, but Rothfuss, also, have you met your fans, dude? If you gave them two versions of the same chapter, the field day they would have comparing pros and all kinds of stuff would be something they enjoy. Just saying, dude, like that would be gravy. You have a potential opportunity for gravy. Sorry for that gross mouth noise a second ago, and also I lied, this is the last cell phone insert. I just also want to point out, it is incredibly normalized right now in publishing that putting out unfinished chapters for either an insight into your work or it's just a treat for fans is completely fine. People do it just straight up to make money, so putting it out as just a bonus for this charity chapter could be angled is purely a win. But I want to end this video on the most important note, I feel, as someone who also has pretty much been told to go f themselves at least once a day for the last several years just due to having a presence online. It's okay to completely back away from this environment. It's okay, no matter what people say, to just say this isn't good for me and I need to back off. And I have no problem with Rothfuss trying his Twitch career like he seems to be doing now while he's working on his mental health to get ready for the third book, if he even decides to do it. I also don't have a problem with an author who just says, I can't finish it, it's gonna be an unfinished masterpiece. It's purely the exchange of money. Especially after seeing this video, if everything we're being told is true, I just get it. I get wanting to go above and beyond. My Fringe video was supposed to be like 2 hours tops for the whole series, and it's going to be about 7 hours and take probably another year for me to get done. That is why I realized, let's chop out the first 2 hours, put it out, and we'll make it multi-part. Right now, I believe for the King Killer fandom, the middle ground solution is just take chapter as is, release it on a blog, which no one's above. Posting stuff on blogs is great, and then work on it slowly at your own pace in a way that isn't going to frickin' stress you out. So please keep in mind, no matter what your feelings on the matter, I don't think anyone here is an over-the-top malicious villain. There's just a set of circumstances that have led to something that is justifiably frustrating for all involved. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Peace.